very good evening to all of you. First of all, at the onset, I would like to thank Pune International Literary Festival for this great platform. We at Ishania Art and Culture Club are happy to be associated with Artsphere by sponsoring the dance ballet Urmila, The Forgotten Wife, based on the novel by Pervin Saket. She's with us right here. Good evening. Ishania Art and Culture Club aims at bringing out, preserving, protecting and promoting art and culture of Pune city. Over last 9 years, we have been organizing a lot of events at Ishania, which is a culture-led destination in Pune. Ishania Art and Culture Club has organized in the recent past many events such as screening of a play Between the Lines starring Nandita Das, a musical concert by none other than Rahul Sharma, and among many others. We are also, this festive month of Ganpati and Diwali, we have organized few events. Just want to give a brief about them. On 1st October, we are having a temple performance for Navratri based on Indian classical by the Kathak troupe of Urmila. 14th to 17th October, we have a leadership and dance movement therapy workshop for women by Institute of Generative Leadership. And 23rd October, it's a Isha Rumi event for Diwali. In October, we also have a Yellow Ribbon Fair happening at Ishania, along with Ishania Foundation. I would like to invite all of you to become a member of this club, which aims to bring all the art enthusiasts under one roof and promote art and culture of Pune. There's a simple form. We have given a brochure on each table. If anybody who has not got, please contact me, or we have a gentleman, Mr. Sam here. We can get in touch with us. You can also log in onto our website, which is www.ishania.com/IACC, which stands for Ishania Art and Culture Club. The fee is very nominal. It's only 2,000 rupees for a couple. And the benefits that you get out of the membership are as follows. First is you get your 2,000 back through vouchers from retailers at Ishania like Hometown, At Home, Fab India, The Home Sook, House Life. We have iconic Blue Frog, Zora Kitchen and other food brands. You also get discount vouchers from other furniture and food brands, and also discount from the Tilting Art Gallery that we have, where we showcase a lot of events and have been curating a lot of events from the artists across India and Pune specifically. So please do join this club. It will motivate us to bring more events such as these to you. Thank you very much and have a lovely evening. Enjoy the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vaishampan. I'd now like to invite Pervin Saket, who's the author of Urmila, as well as Anubha Doshi, who's the founder director of Artsphere, onto the dais, please. Pervin Saket was shortlisted for the Random House India Writers Block Award in 2013 and is the author of Urmila, also of a children's series, Adventures at Miscellaneous Shelf 4, and of a collection of poems, A Tinge of Turmeric. Pervin's short fiction has appeared in Journeys, Breaking the Bow, speculative fiction inspired by the Ramayana, the Asian writer collection, Khabar, Love Across Borders, an anthology by Indian and Pakistani writers, and many others. Her poetry has been featured in Kritya, The Binnacle, Wales, Halos and Shackles, International Poetry on the Oppression and Empowerment of Women, and elsewhere. She's a certified creative writing trainer from the British Council, and she also conducts workshops at the British Council Library on reading and writing skills. Anubha Doshi is the founder director of Artsphere. Artsphere is a cultural center in Kalyani Nagar which has made a mark in the field of performing arts and therapy. It offers a range of creative and curative activities for people of all ages, ranging from dance, theater, and music classes, art exhibitions, workshops, film screenings, rehearsals, and intimate performances. The dance studio has state-of-the-art facilities and an international sprung dance floor, professional sound and light system, and projectors to facilitate performances. Anubha herself is a clinical psychologist and dance movement therapist whose vision was to get all art forms under the same roof, and hence Artsphere was born. Over to both of you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. I know everyone's really waiting for Urmila, so we're going to keep this really short to introduce Urmila to you. So, Pervin, how was it to see your book being translated onto the stage and among so many dancers?
So, as all of you will see very soon, it is very special to see a book, a piece of literature being adapted into a representation of a performance art, especially because Urmila is a very internal narrative. Much of the drama is a mental and emotional drama. So now to see these dancers represented in three-dimensional space, using movement, using their bodies, I think that is what is most interesting, and I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, so since like Anubha has brought dancers from various styles together, today you'll see Kathak, Bharatnatyam, and Odissi styles represented on stage. So can you tell us something, Anubha, about the process of taking a story which is on page and translating it now onto the stage? How has that been, and how have you collaborated with all these dance styles?
Thank you. So it's really interesting. The dance has no dialogues. The music is non-verbal. It's instrumental. And everything is communicated through your body. So the mental conflict, the emotional trauma, the pain of Urmila, you're going to feel it in each scene. And we've not even followed the chronology or the chapters of the event. Sorry for that. We've taken the important scenes in the book and tried to bring the story forth. What was really interesting was to get all these best dancers in Pune, Kathak, Odissi, Bharatnatyam, break their traditional forms and use Kalari pair to a little bit of contemporary to do justice to the scenes, you know. So they did not really stick to their style. Their costumes were different. So you're really in for a treat.
Wow, yeah. Wonderful. So on that note, it is now my pleasure and privilege to introduce you to the dance ballet Urmila, the Forgotten Wife. This ballet is inspired, it's adapted from the novel, which in turn is inspired by Urmila from the Ramayana, that is Lakshman's wife. However, it is not a direct retelling. This is an Urmila in a modern context. It is set in contemporary India in the 21st century. And you'll see that each scene is preceded by a narration which will outline the main events of that scene. And so sit back, enjoy, and journey with Urmila as she lives out her destiny. Will she find the love that she's been looking for? Will she remain like another Urmila from another time, once again ignored and forgotten? So find out this and more in Urmila, the Forgotten Wife.
Thank you. Thank you.
A warm welcome to everyone. Artsphere presents Urmila, the Forgotten Wife. This performance is adapted from Pervin Saket's celebrated novel Urmila, inspired by Lakshman's wife Urmila from the Ramayana. Urmila, who stays behind in the palace when Lakshman decides to follow Ram and Sita in exile, is separated from her husband, not just for 14 years, but also for a heartbreaking reason. Lakshman chooses to leave her behind. In every version of the epic, Lakshman's devotion to Ram supersedes his desertion of his wife. Rabindranath Tagore is believed to be the first to implore poets and writers to wipe the tears of Urmila, and Pervin Saket's Urmila does just that. The narrative traces a woman's rejection and her passionate search for love, rekindling questions of devotion and desire in contemporary India. The book is set in the 21st century, and Urmila is married into a politically connected business family in Mumbai. Due to a family dispute, Urmila's brother-in-law, Purushottam, is compelled to leave the house and the country. Purushottam and his wife Vanita, who is also Urmila's adopted sister, move to Dubai, a modern Vanvas. Deeply attached to his brother, Urmila's husband too follows them, leaving behind a heartbroken woman as she battles to keep her dreams of love and family alive. Over the centuries, writers, artists, dancers, musicians, and scholars have made the epic their own, creating a plethora of inspired work. Hence, the epic remains alive and relevant, generating discourse and debate, allowing for new perspectives. Today, we are privileged and honored to represent in dance this modern-day narrative, Urmila, the Forgotten Wife. Story adapted from Pervin Saket's novel, Urmila. Concept and screenplay by Aparna Gandhi. Music compiled by Shantanu Rao. Poetry and narration by Pervin Saket. Voiceover by Pervin Saket, Preetam Ranjana, Shantanu Rao, and Aparna Gandhi. Odissi choreographed and performed by Naad. Bharatnatyam choreographed and performed by Kalavardhini Charitable Trust. Kathak choreographed and performed by Shambhavi International School of Kathak. Ballet presented, organized, and produced by Artsphere Pune. Presenting Urmila, the Forgotten Wife.
There are many moons to turn and yearn, and many roads to cross, many notes to sing, many colors to bring to life the Urmila who everyone knows, but no one remembers. Is she hiding or hidden? Is she silent or silenced? She must have once been just a child who melted hearts every time she smiled. An infant, a toddler in squeaky shoes, a naive girl with dreams shimmering in her eyes, and warm hope embracing her with each new sunrise. Soon, however, the winds change direction as her parents bring in another addition, a little adopted girl with a heavy and hard fate, who quickly becomes Urmila's fondest playmate, gaining not just her toys and dresses, but turning into that invisible core around which the household revolves until Urmila frets and stresses, yearning and waiting for the day when, adorned as a bride, Urmila would turn each eye and with her beauty light up the sky. Then youth brings with it dreams of love, of courtship and marriage and blessings from above, of a soulmate kind and strong, of a union deep and long, of a husband who will show through each act and word that what her heart desires, his heart has heard. Except that is not how it would be, and her dream remains only an unheard plea, left behind by the man who had pledged to her his life, realizing she is marginal, secondary, an easily forgotten wife. What now? What next? How will she reconcile? What burning test of fire can put an end to her exile? Though the season turns and the heart learns, hope will still persist through fog and mist of a day that brings wedding vows and rings, and the red blush of a love so strong that it may be reflected in 100 songs. But did she know that fate had made other plans? What if she could see the signs and read the minds of the new family she meant to embrace? But for now, eager as a monsoon wind, lovelier than a sky at dawn, and softer than a receding moon, she throws open that great grand door, glimpsing at all that marriage has in store. Except the day doesn't quite turn out as planned. A fuss, a confrontation, and the older brother takes Vanita's hand. Urmila is shoved once again in the shadows. Much later, along with her husband, around the fire she goes, but not even the heroine of her own wedding day. Hurt and angry, her dreams blown away. The path lies dark and twisted ahead. Secrets and silences swish through rooms that should have been saturated instead with the full-throated laughter of a newlywed. He is not hers, she senses, as he puts up defenses and shadows his brother, ignoring the other, as she watches her dream shiver and shake and morph into a nightmare from which she cannot awake. He's going with Purushottam, she understands with a fright, stealing away in the middle of the night, too enamored by his brother to love any other, too indifferent to her own pain and plight. In desperation she pleads, "Did you join hands and walk around the fire with him? Did you place a Mangal Sutra around his neck? What needy, desperate attachment compels you to forget your vows?" And she hears in horror these words from her spouse. "We are bound by blood. My commitment to him dates far before I even saw you." She knows this to be true. She suppresses a sob so she may continue, "Then you shouldn't have married. You weren't yours to pledge." They struggle, they pout, they sob, they shout, they fight, they fume, they bawl, they battle. And at the end of the night of 1,000 years, he leaves with a purpose, and she remains with her tears. 7 years and counting. These days, Urmila examines the expiry dates of food packets with their plastic covers and warning labels, wondering whether it's long enough to discard the hope of a vanished husband blundering his way home. Does hope also come with an expiry date, unfit for consumption, going stale and bitter and toxic? At what point does desire die and desperation take over? These days, she is befriended by colors, by the redness of her sindoor and the green of her bangles that clasp her wrists as hollow substitutes for his absent hand. The rings, the bindi, the black beaded necklace circle her neck, touch the gaps of her toes, caress her where she thirsts for his skin. From the arid desert of her heart she travels to Mahabalipuram at the behest of her in-laws and bears before all the gods the scars that paint each thwarted desire and each wretched complaint. Around the temple, the waters of the sea remind her of the flowing, adaptable, pleasing woman she was taught to be. But now, left behind, cut off from the other three, the oceans only clash and crash, denying her solace. Instead, within her burns an orange fire and a hollow promise, made by a man who did not own his words, all endorsed by that black and white world where, at least in her life, devotion towards a brother ignores the desertion of a wife.
ॐ ईश एकपदि भव सा मामनुव्रता भव विष्णुस्त्वानयतु पुत्रान् विन्दावहै बहुंस्ते सन्तु जरदष्टयः ॐ ऊर्जे द्विपदि भव ॐ रायस्पोषणाय त्रिपदि भव ॐ मयो भवाय चतुष्पदि भव ॐ प्रज्ञाभ्यः पञ्चपदि भव ॐ ऋतुभ्यः षट्पदि भव ॐ सखे सप्तपदी भव.
With this first vow of Saptapadi, I promise you, Isha, to take care of your material needs and bring you prosperity. With the second vow of Saptapadi, I promise you, Urja, to grow strong together physically, mentally, and spiritually. With this third vow of Saptapadi, I promise you, Rayasposha, to acquire wealth by righteous means and spend it wisely. With the fourth vow of Saptapadi, I promise you, Mayobhav, to share happiness and sadness together and to develop a harmonious relationship. With the fifth vow of Saptapadi, I promise you, Praja, to raise strong and virtuous children with you. With this sixth vow of Saptapadi, I promise you, Ritu, to be together and compatible at all times. With the seventh vow of Saptapadi, I promise you, Sakha, to be united always in friendship and trust.
As her heart struggles to mend, Urmila finds colors to be her friend. On each canvas she pours out her fury, the reds of blood, the blacks of despair, the whites of emptiness. Her colors sob, half bride, half widow, half blessed, half cursed. They clash, hand against hand, cheek against cheek, limb against limb. They pile up, opening trunk after trunk of yesterdays, each carrying the sour stench of neglect. She must see him if only on canvas, and must hold him if only at the edges of shapes and outlines. But even as she sketches face after face, the man eludes her. At first, her work invites scandal, outrage, and shock, as each canvas seems to mock this world in which attachment is mistaken for love, while her abandonment seeps through each cruel night. Soon, however, the protesters understand her plight. Anger gives way to applause. They begin to join in her cause. Awed and amazed, the world finally sings her praises and supports the many uncomfortable questions that she raises. This painting depicts a forest scene, two men and a woman looking serene, the couple sleeping with their hands held, happy and peaceful, although expelled. But the other man, in his dream, cannot suppress what waking hours must repress, and he reaches for the edge of the woman's clothes, concealed by the night and its shifting shadows. Undeterred by the protesters, Urmila paints. Despite the displeasure and constraints, she works on a curious entangle. Two women and a man, but an unusual triangle, where a husband devotes all his days protecting the ideal woman whom the world would praise, while far away a lonely wife waits, and between grief and anger alternates. With each stroke of her brush she depicts the forgotten wife's rejection and conflicts. With renewed zeal, Urmila proceeds, and on her canvas she paints and bleeds, bringing alive the angst of a wife who had no voice, while her husband was confronted with that ultimate choice. Where does his duty lie? With a brother or a wife? In the bonds of blood or the vows of togetherness for life? Why doesn't he uphold the promises of that sacred fire? Why must he deny her her rightful desire? Every scripture, every tenet upholds her claim, yet she must fight for love in this cruel game. When the windows close in each painful year, and the bedsheets know every anguished tear, when she's woken up sleepless at the 1000th dawn, when even fashions and gadgets have come and gone, Urmila finally accepts that she must move on. This daughter, this sister, this wife to an absent man, wrestles with her ties and comes up with a plan. With memories weighing down on every object, she starts packing and shifting years of quiet neglect, determined to make her sorrow dissolve. But a sudden telephone call tests her resolve. They have returned. They ask her to stay, to rethink her choice of that lonely highway. He is back, broken promises and all. That face, the hair, the fingers, those eyes. But will she succumb to his tempting cries? Or will she choose to march on alone, reflecting instead on how she has grown? What will it be, the past with its upheavals and misery, or the future, uncertain and frightening as it may be?
It gives us great joy to perform in front of this wonderful audience, and greater joy to perform in front of our Guru, Guru Jhelam Paranjpe, Jhelam Tai, who has come all the way from Mumbai. So I would really request her to share a few words with us.
This is a very good attempt that all these girls have done. Kudos to all of you all, and also to Pervin for inspiring them to do something like this. It is indeed a very good, and with 3 styles together, it brings out a lot more. Congratulations.